Hello everyone, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video before starting the summary. After Rudy returns from his master's hideout, he meets Young and Musi and tells them of his master's evil plan. Yinxiong assures him that he will protect him as a child. Ru was an outcast, his only friend being a snake spirit who lived in caves. One fateful day, a fortune teller visits his village and crosses paths with him. After crossing paths, Ru telepathically warns Yue to stay away from the snake spirit, but she does not heed his words. Arriving at the caves, she finds them empty and runs back to her village to find her dead. Ru telepathically warns Yue to stay away from the snake spirit, but she does not listen to his words. When she reaches the caves, she finds them empty and runs back to her village, where she finds her dead parents and houses in flames. Ru meets the same fortune teller, who is seriously injured in her last moments, to help her find the snake spirit. Ru enters the forest and finds her old friend battered. As the snake spirit approaches Yue, she raises her weapon with trembling hands. The snake spirit rubs ointment on the rogue's wounds, and after crying over the death of his friend, he calls him friend. From then on, the villain will seek out the old man to put him out of his misery. If he succeeds in killing the two practitioners, he will be able to cultivate with a common enemy who threatens their lives. And Musi and Yingxiong hold hands. Ru explains the urgency of destroying her master before he completes the blood ritual, otherwise she will become invincible enough to forcibly take Musi and Yingxiong's spiritual energy and enter the final stage of cultivation. Yue gives her insight into her master by revealing a fatal flaw in the blood dart technique. Later, in a hotel room, Lucy comes out with a towel, filling Yingxiong with dirty thoughts, and excitedly asks Musi if they are going to be together. Cultivate together. Musi responds by hitting her hard on the head after shattering her dreams of making music. She tells Yingxiong about the blood contract. Yingxiong shows him a way to channel his inner power. Yingxiong can use his power by making a spirit weapon, with which he draws blood from Yingxiong's hand, cuts him, and orders the spirit weapon to come out. The spirit suddenly appears. A beautiful woman greets Yingxiong and calls him the master of the weapon. The spirit tells Yingxiong that they must level up if he is to unleash his full power. He disappears. The next day, Ridian he hires two cultivators to kill Yingxiong, while the cultivators attack the Yinxiong Museum, and they show up to rescue him, but unfortunately the cultivators force them to drop their weapons, forcing them to drop their weapons. They get stronger. Yingxiong summons the ghost of the weapon, who saves the day, as if the ghost kicks the bad guy's butt. Yue analyzes the ghost of the weapon, which contains conscience, and remembers his fight with Yingxiong, noting that he used a powerful weapon then, which he subconsciously remembered well during his fight with the Yue. When he meets Jinji, who has helped him, Zhongji warns him not to say anything about their meeting or he will incur his wrath. Yingxiong exclaims that it must be a favor from God. When Ru asks for a name, the ghost of the weapon asks for a name. He explains that he is not. She suggests a name for him. He hears unpleasant words from the spirit of the weapon. Considering his identity, Yingxiong suggests the name of Linga because he is the master of Xinjiang. The signal from Ningxiong. Linga begins the process of transferring her spiritual energy to Yinxiong. Yingxiong, who remembers the painful history of the past, who remembers the painful past of both Ru and Musi. Yingxiong and Linga are attacked by a tree spirit. Yingxiong receives a phone call from Musi and urgently summons him back to their world. Yingxiong and Linga meet Musi, and Musi takes them all to an adult shop before Musi has an idea that Yang Hin thinks is a good idea. Musi explains that it's a shop for practitioners. They enter the shop. The trio are greeted by sensual music. A male salesman greets them cheerfully. Suddenly Musi uses his magic to light up the computer. Mousy asks to see his supervisor. He throws his VIP card on the table, shocking the salesman as he's the only one with a VIP card. The supervisor, Musi, Hansi and Jeongra, he's allowed to meet his stones. He enjoys his time with the spirit stones, which are used as money in the cultivation world, and takes the opportunity to rob the rabbit-costumed salesgirl Yingxiong. He greets Yingxiong and Linga sweetly. Meanwhile, in the gambling world, Uzi encounters the supervisor who wants to buy his most valuable possessions. On the other hand, the salesman makes a profit after tricking Yingxiong into buying a rusty dagger. The trio leaves the shop, and the salesman excitedly tells his boss about the encounter. The old man, who hears him, faints after being told that the dagger is indeed priceless and approaches the old man's Liaoru's master, informing him of his failure. The old man asks him if this is due to low spiritual energy or if he collaborated with Yanzhong and Uzi. Surprised by his master's words, Muzi tries to evade his accuser Tians. The old man says he was spying on him. Pretending to be a janitor, he attacks the Rui, and after surviving the attack, the Rui abandons his role and flees from his former master. Meanwhile, the Muzi examines the dagger. Yin God tells the pair that the dagger was given to them because it was Linge who took the dagger for him, and after Hongji kills him, the spirit of a real dragon listens to Linge. Yin Jiang excitedly exclaims that he can unleash the dragon on the old man during the battle. Linge stops him from daydreaming by telling him that releasing the dragon's spirit will do more harm than good, but Yunzhong uses the spirit energy to test the theory by using the dagger to deal deadly blows. And Yung puts his spirit energy into the dagger to help him create 2 clones of himself, just as Rui telepathically summons him to fight. Wearing the necklace, he arrives on the scene, and although they attack the old man together, they are still incapacitated by him using the dagger and splitting into clones. Xinjiang manages to wound the old man, Yongjing, and sarcastically says that knives are designed to kill dogs. Dingchang is good at idle talk, at least, and suddenly grabs Yanzhong by the throat and lifts him into the air. The swinging Yinjian disappears and another Yinjian appears from behind, cutting the old man's bait after he lets go. Caught in the old man's attack, Rui Yinjian can Muzi release spiritual energy and the power of his blood-sucking finger. As a last reward, Yin Jiang summons Linge, who is running out of spiritual energy and blood. After forming a shield for Yin and the girls, the energy is incomparable. Linge tries to stop the old man's attacks. Linge can only hold him for a short time, calling the trio to escape Yin Jiang and the girls. After Linge returns, they flee into the woods inside Yin Jiang. It doesn't take long for the old man to catch up with them. The old man is exactly where they want him. They unleash the young flame array, which traps the old man, and they launch a combined attack thinking they have finally caught him. The old man emerges unharmed, and you summon Rugyu to make him believe that Rugyu knows of his weakness, revealing that he knows she is studying the fiend art book he left behind in an attempt to trick her. But in reality, the young flame array is intensifying its powers after being held back by the previously summoned Linge. Yin Jiang pleads with him to save the girls from the old man, explaining that he was the one who wanted to slaughter them all these years, and that when the village came in search of the snake spirit's core, he saw a young girl with rare self-sufficiency, so he decided to bring her to the final stage of cultivation. After failing in his attempt to seduce Ru by disguising himself as an old fortune teller, he transformed into the snake spirit and slaughtered the entire village, eventually forcing Rui to surrender to his care. Raging with rage, Rui attacks the old man, revealing that the full Rua is about to absorb his spiritual energy when he is pierced by the dagger. Yingjiang explains that he knew Rui was impulsive, so he shot him in the back and threw the dagger the same way the old man threw it. Thinking he has everything under control after surviving the attack, the old man manipulates a giant plane with the help of Fiend Da to shoot Ying's Hong. Muzi quickly steps in and unleashes all of his power to stop the plane. As the two sides collide with intense force, Yingjiang ties his hand to Muzi. The necklace glows with energy, and together they attack the old man. Jinghian glides motionless on the ground as he runs towards him, but before he can reach the dagger, the old man raises the dagger and Yingjiang slashes through his body. Remembering that the dagger rots blood, he releases his spiritual energy and allows the old man to be absorbed by the demon art. King attacks the old man with the dagger before he dies, dealing a fatal blow to Yingjiang and cursing his senior to avenge his Rui. Yingjiang, happy that the criminal who killed his beloved friend has been eliminated, holds Suze's lifeless body in his arms and summons an unexpected power. An eye appears in the air and asks Ying questions. Yongzhong tells Muzi that after traveling to his subconscious he felt another presence, then begs the Force to save Muzi and sacrifices Wan in return. The Force asks him to bring the pearls in 3 years. The next day, Muzi sees a blindfolded Yinzhong. He takes her to the meadow where she is having a picnic with her mother. She calls him her husband. They embrace. Jinghian promises to protect her forever.